Welcome everybody. It's May 19th, 2017. Got my little baby girl right here, and we're going to go through the latest updates to the Torrents. Let's see what's up, what's good, what's bad, what's worth seeing, what you must delete. So here I am in my Plex, and I think where we last left off was All Nighter right here, which was actually a good movie. I recommended it. Then I was recommended to me to watch a couple of movies. One was Kill List and one was The Witch. I guess by the same, possibly by the same director or whatnot. Now The Witch, I'm going to have to delete this. Definitely not worth watching. It's supposed to be taking place in like, I want to say Pilgrim times, not Pilgrim times, early settler times. And just, you know, keep it short. It's supposed to be a horror movie about a witch, basically. And I honestly, I think it's completely rubbish. I mean, it could have had a better, I mean, if the ending was better, where it actually made sense, maybe it would be okay. But it's just really bizarre, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Now, Kill List, you know, it's just nearly a year after a botched job. A hitman takes a new assignment with the promise of a big payoff for 3 killings. What starts off as an easy task soon unravels, sending the killer into the heart of darkness. Now, this is a 2012 movie, and, okay, filmed by Ben Wheatley, and again, maybe this is this guy. Let me just check if Ben Wheatley did The Witch. Because The Witch. Is it also Ben Wheatley? Doesn't say. Doesn't say right here. Whatever. These are both bizarre movies. This is an updated version of Plex. It's really, this is the first time I'm using it in the browser, and they've added a lot of new features. But Kill List, yeah, it's a British kind of film, and these 2 guys are going around. They got 3 people to kill, and it turns into some bizarre occultist thing where it's just really, really bizarre. And I watched the director who was interviewed, and he said, you know, I guess that was part of the reason, was to make it bizarre. It doesn't, for whatever reason, I don't know. It's just, it was tough. It was tough to, not tough to watch. It's just one of those movies that, again, just doesn't make a lot of sense. And whatever. Is it worth watching? I mean, The Witch is barely worth watching unless you're into witchcraft and you think that could be interesting. The ending is totally bogus on The Witch. Kill List was kind of interesting. It was just bizarre and like confusing, and I think the second time I watched it, you picked up a few details, started to make a little bit of sense, but it still didn't make sense. It's a lot of symbolism and all this crazy stuff. And, you know, I mean, if you're into that, maybe it could be fun. If you just want a fun kill movie, this is definitely not it. Now, Captain Fantastic. I gotta say, I was, you know, this is leftist propaganda bullshit about some guy who lives in the forests, you know, totally living off the land, and he's like kind of like a Marxist in a way, anti-capitalist dude. But honestly, it was actually a really cool movie. It actually was a really cool movie as you see the characters evolve and recognize that, I don't want to give it away, but recognize that they need to assimilate back into society, essentially. And there's definitely a lot of twists and turns in this movie, especially the ending was a surprise ending. I didn't think it would end as it did. I mean, I will just tell you, it's a happy ending. It's a good ending, but I didn't expect it to be like that, because how it looks like it ends and then how it really ends is totally different. But it's really a happy ending. So that's definitely worth seeing, Captain Fantastic. Now, Kong, Skull Island. Finally, we get a King Kong movie that is decent. You know, the first one was okay, I mean, in recent memory. And then there was been a series of just bogus Kong movies. This one was actually pretty decent. Pretty decent. Really good special effects, really good monsters. Samuel L. Jackson played his typical badass role. And I definitely think it's worth seeing, Kong Skull Island. And this is a decent quality torrent out there. Hacker, 2016 movie. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this was, basically it's a movie about a hacker. I didn't realize he was Ukrainian. I thought he was British. Well, whatever. But it's kind of a really exciting, interesting movie about these guys that are hacking, and it tells you here his partner turns out to be like a Fed, and it's actually, based upon what's happening recently, right? Especially with this worm slash crypto lockout virus that has been going around. It's actually pretty cool. This has nothing to do with that, but it's actually a pretty cool movie called Hacker. Hey, buddy. Hey, shh, sweetie pie. Oh, I got you, little sweetie pie. Oh, come here. You tired or are you hungry? Yeah. Oh, yo, cream of the crop rises to the top. Look at that. Perfection, huh? Perfection. Okay, Aftermath. This is a Schwarzenegger movie about a plane crash. Yeah. So, based on an airline accident that occurred in July of 2002, and on the events that took place 479 days later. So, look, this is about Schwarzenegger's, I guess, his daughter and baby get killed in a plane crash. And somebody in the tower is sort of blamed for the crash, even though it's not really his fault. And essentially, it's a movie about revenge, and it's a movie about revenge, essentially. It's not normal seeing Schwarzenegger play this kind of an emotional roller coaster type of role, but I think he did a good job. And he must be desperate for money, but he did a good job, and if you're bored, it's worth watching. It's not a great movie. It's not very exciting. It's pretty slow, but it's worth seeing. I give it 1 thumb up. I mean, maybe 1.5 because Schwarzenegger's in it, and he's still looking pretty badass. Now, the baby boss. Right here's the baby boss. The baby boss is a cartoon about a baby who's, a new baby that comes into the family, upsetting the relationship between an older sibling and his parents. And my kids liked it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I only watched part of it, but it was definitely pretty decent. Now, Return of Triple X. What can I say? This is just eye candy, mindless, stupid shit happening. Like, I just want to give one thing away, and maybe it's in the trailer. He climbs up this cell tower in some third world shithole, steals the transmitter for the satellite signal, and then he skateboards down this giant mountain of evading all these cops and everybody so that a group of poor villagers along the ocean can watch a soccer game. It's just fucking stupid. If this guy has, success and money, what would it cost? $3 to watch the game on your cell phone or plug in the cell phone into the TV? I mean, whatever. Get the signal legally. It just doesn't make any sense. This kind of stuff's happening. But if you're looking for mindless, bread and circuses, this is it. This is it for you. Now, Sleepless is about an undercover officer played by Jamie Foxx, who you don't really know he's for real. Is he really undercover? You don't really know for sure, for real. Hey. But it's definitely a good movie where he's trying to rescue his son. His son gets kidnapped by these bad guys, and he's got to go in there and get him back. Okay, so we're back. Yeah, Sleepless, definitely worthwhile seeing. I recommend you see it. There's a lot of twists and turns. It's a really good flick. It's pretty exciting. I mean, Jamie Foxx pulls it off. He's a good actor and a great comedian. I mean, he's had some funny stuff. So he's really made the transition into acting for sure. Let's get back here. Okay, Mine. Essentially, it's about a couple of guys, a sniper and a spotter. I'm assuming they're either in Afghanistan or Iraq. I can't remember where, but look, you see the name of the title. Dude steps on a mine, and this is all about how he's going to get off the mine. Okay? Now, The Case for Christ, there's a new version. It's like a 2016 movie or 2017 movie, The Case for Christ. This is like a documentary. So an earlier version, I think this is from 2002 maybe. It's worth seeing if you have questions about The Case for Christ. Okay? Spoiler alert. Jesus saves. Hashtag Jesus saves. Okay? Now, the Great Wall. Funny, Trump says he's going to build the wall, and then he come out with the movie, The Great Wall. Proving that walls work. Okay? This is coming from Hollywood, right? Leftist Hollywood. But believe it or not. So this is really Matt Damon and his partner actually go to China to acquire black powder, which obviously the West needs for weapons and for the military. And they're basically forced to defend the wall against a horde of these monsters that come like every 10 years. Is it worth seeing? Honestly, God, these movies are so repetitive and stupid. But one thumb up. One thumb up. It's kind of worth seeing. Honestly, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it, which is okay. Probably it's going to be deleted. Yeah, a few of these are definitely going to be deleted. The Witch, Kill List, going to be deleted. Okay, The Discovery. This is a relatively new movie with Robert Redford. You know, some scientist who discovers, well, what does it say here? In the near future, due to a breakthrough scientific discovery by Dr. Thomas Harbour, who I believe is Robert Redford, played by Robert Redford. Yeah. There is now definitive proof of an afterlife. While countless people have chosen suicide to reset their existence, others try to decide what it all means. Okay, so that's what it's all about. And in my opinion, is bogus. This is as bogus as it gets. It makes no sense at all. Makes no sense at all. Now here we have Vodnia. I believe that's how you pronounce it. This is referring to the summer of 1939 when the Ukrainian nationalists / communists, whatever you want to call them, the UPA, killed and just ruthlessly hate crime killed all these Polish people who lived in what was Poland, which is now Western Ukraine. So it's horrible, man. It's a horrible movie, and it really, I don't know what kind of widespread distribution it's gotten, but really sort of documenting the Holocaust, one of the Holocausts against the Polish people, this time perpetrated by quote-unquote white Ukrainians, quote-unquote Christians, if you want to call it that, against Poles that were their neighbors for hundreds of years. You know, as I'm watching this, I'm thinking, why didn't these people move to Poland? And then I'm realizing they were living in Poland. I mean, that Poland stretched from the Baltic Sea to the Black Sea, in the from the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. It was huge, and obviously after World War II, what is now Western Ukraine was Eastern Poland, is now part of Ukraine. What was Eastern Germany is now Western Poland. Right? They shifted the borders over. But anyhow, this is definitely worth seeing. The English translation of this movie is Hatred, but in Polish, it is, in the original title, is what I said earlier, Wolne, which is, I guess, the province or the city or the town or the area where this took place. It's just really horrific story and just full of obvious hate crimes. Which are where's this documented? Where's this documented? This is what happened in World War II after the Nazis rolled through. Okay. This movie here called Western World. I don't even want to get into it. It's like a B movie. It's super slow. It's super stupid. The dialogue, especially in the beginning, is horrible and just so fake. I actually watched the whole thing, and being a filmmaker myself, I got to give him credit for finishing it and actually completing it, and it's actually pretty okay. But it's just, you got to call it as it is. It's like a B movie. One thumb up if you're a filmmaker. And especially if you're into the Western genre, it could be interesting, it could be fun to watch. But definitely, for the most part, especially in the beginning, bad acting, and whatever. It is what it is, okay? It is what it is. It's a B movie. Now, Savage Dog, it's about this Irish guy who's in Thailand or Indochina, so Vietnam, before it became, back in 1959. In lawless Vietnam, and he's forced to basically he's forced to fight, fight to the death type stuff, and it's actually pretty decent. It's very violent, and it's worth seeing. I would say it's worth seeing. Now, Sandcastle, man, this is a heart-wrenching story. This is set during the occupation of Iraq. A squad of U.S. soldiers are trying to protect a small village. Basically, their job is to restore the water supply in a community that is mixed Sunni and Shia. And the locals refuse to help them. And in fact, even before the war, there was constantly fighting between Shia and Sunni over control of the water supply. And this is really kind of, I don't know if it's based on a true story or not. It may very well be. I would say it's worth seeing, and it's another reason why we should not be doing any kind of nation building in the Middle East. And in fact, third world savages, just stay the hell away from them. Let them survive, sink or swim on their own, because we don't have to have any business being there. Really. I mean, whatever. Instant death. This is Lou Ferrigno, okay, the original Hulk. The guy must be, I don't know, the guy must be 65 years old, but he's looking really good in this movie. And essentially, as it says, a vicious gang war for drug dominance draws in a disturbed Special Forces veteran played by Lou Ferrigno, okay? And, oh God, it's really some graphically horrible, brutal hate crime going on in there. And this guy, he basically, it's a revenge flick. And it takes place, I guess, in the UK. It has to be in the UK is where this is taking place. And it's kind of bizarre that the dude he's an American, but I guess his wife was British, so he has like a British daughter and a granddaughter. His wife had passed away, I guess. So that's what this is about. Now, Get Out, I did a whole review on Get Out previously. Definitely worth seeing. Definitely a good, twisted, I wouldn't really call it horror. It's really a twisted thriller. I call it a thriller. Definitely worth seeing. A lot of twists and turns. And it's not what you expect. If you're expecting it to be sort of, as you're watching it. Anyway, I already reviewed this separately. Definitely worth seeing. There's a couple of other movies that are recently out on the torrents. One of them was like Excalibur. I already didn't even put it on my Plex. I deleted it. Another one was like the Longing or the whatever. That was just like a boring family movie. I deleted that off the bat, off the jump. So these for February, I'm sorry, for May 19th, 2017, Friday. That's what's on the torrents. That's what's up since we last chatted. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16, 7, 18, 19 new movies. relevant, or 18 at least brand new movies that I've talked about. Most of them are worth watching. A few of them are definitely not worth watching. It's up to you. This is just my opinion. I'm Holy Joe Rock and Roll. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend, and I will see you in the next video. Remember, in the meantime, to always make it happen for the captain, because you're the captain.
Time to drop some knowledge. There are only two genders, and Islam sucks balls. Mohammed the pedophile lied to them all. Who would believe a 7th century loser who didn't know where sperm comes from or where the sun sets?